Hey everyone, I wanted to show you today what I was doing. I do cold process and hot process, and I believe I've made a couple videos on my hot process method, but I absolutely love it because I'm very impatient and I like my soaps to be finished right away, and cold process can sometimes test my patience. So today what I'm videotaping is my hot process method. I went ahead and purchased my own little fragrance oils from my favorite fragrance company, Indigo Fragrance. I'm going to use lavender and a little bit of rosemary essential oil in this batch. I've made this before and it smells so good. It's one of my favorite soaps. What I'm doing now is I have my lye set apart, and we're going to go outside and mix it. This is my titanium dioxide mixed with water, so I discount that in my actual water ounces. I count that as part of my water, and same with my sodium lactate. This is distilled water with 5% sugar. I use 5% sugar to keep the fluidity of the hot process, and this sodium lactate helps with the fluidness of the soap as well. So that's that set up. I got to go outside and mix that together because you always want to use lye safety precautions no matter what method you're using. And in here I have all my oils heating up and melting down. Now with hot process, which is great, you don't have to wait for the oils to cool down and for the lye to cool down. Once your oils are melted, you can mix the lye right in and then you start the cooking process. That's what I love about hot process soap. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the mixing of things. These are my beautiful colors I'm going to be using. I'm using ultramarine violet oxide and aqua pearl mica. And then I'm going to put some violet and green jojoba beads on top of the soap when it's all cooked. So as always, I'll show you each step as we go. With hot process, it's a little bit, I can actually show you step by step. It's a little bit easier to manage. So I'm going to go ahead and go outside and mix my lye together, and then I'll bring you back. All right, so here is my lye mixture. Now with the sugar, it will discolor a little bit. It turned it a light tan, so I went ahead and added my sodium lactate and my titanium dioxide to lighten it up a bit. And that'll also help lighten up my oils. Again, I'm just waiting for my oils, which are in the crock pot, to melt down, and then I'll add the two together and we'll start the cook process. I'll bring it back. All right, I went ahead and put my flash on because it's a little dark in this corner of my kitchen. But here's my oils all melted down, so I'm going to get ready to add my lye water, titanium dioxide, sodium lactate sugar mixture to this, and then we're going to bring it up to trace and we're going to let it cook. Now let me add the lye to it, and we'll go from there. All right, this is my lye mixture mixed in with the oils. I'm going to go ahead and stick blend for a little bit. I like to keep my crock pot on high. I got this crock pot at the thrift store for $3, and I have another one just like it. But I like to keep it on high. I know how this crock pot works. I know, so if this is your first time starting out with hot process, I would suggest keeping it on low. I never stray too far from my soap because you don't want it to volcano over. And I've had that happen to me once, and I'll never let it happen to me again because it's a big mess. So I'm going to go ahead and stick blend this, and then we're going to cook it for about 15 minutes, and I'll show you what that looks like when that happens. Okay, so my mixture is at a nice trace. As you can see, this is what trace looks like when you put the soap on top of itself and it stays on top. So we're going to put the lid on this and let this cook for about 15 minutes, and I'll show you each step as it cooks so you can see what it looks like. All right, it's been 15 minutes, and as you can see, it's starting to cook from the outside and it'll start to cave in. Most people leave it. I like to stir it. So I'm going to go ahead and stir it and come back again in 15 more minutes to see how it is. All right, so I went ahead and stirred it down. Now I'm going to put the lid back on and check on it in another 15 minutes. And I'll show you what that looks like after the time has passed. All right, it's been about 9 minutes out of the 15 minutes that I put it on, and as you can see, it's bubbling, the oil's separating a little bit. That's what it's supposed to do. Now if I just kept it like this, this is the point in which it would start to volcano over if I didn't pay attention to it. So I know I said I was going to wait 15 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and stir it now and restart the timer for another 8. And then we will see how it goes from there. All right, so this was another 8 minutes. And as you can see, the oil's separating. It's still bubbling up. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So we just want to stir in to get the oils incorporated back with the batter. No need to worry if you see this. You just stir and stir and stir. So I'm going to go ahead and stir some more, and then I'm going to do a zap test. What a zap test is I let a little bit of the soap batter dry and put it on my tongue. And if it zaps me like a battery would, then it still has active lye in it, and I want to let it cook for a little bit more. But if it doesn't, then it's soap, and we can go ahead and color it and put our scents in. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this, and then I'll do the zap test, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I did the zap test, and it did zap me. So I'm going to have to let this cook for a little bit longer. Now, for people that are afraid to do the zap test, it doesn't really hurt. It feels funny. It feels just like a battery would if you put an active battery to your tongue. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook. I'm going to put it on for 7 minutes, and then we'll come back and check on it. All right, so that was another 7 minutes, and it's still cooking. It's still kind of separating, so we got a little bit longer to go with the soap. I'm going to go ahead and stir it down and continue with the process. All right, so it was just another 3 minutes, and as you can tell, this soap is nicely gelled, so that means it's complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do another zap test just to double verify. And then we will go ahead with the process of coloring and scenting it. All right, so what I do is I go ahead and take it out of the crock. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of organic shea butter to superfat a little bit more. I'm going to stir it, and then I separate it into 2 different containers to mix my colors and my fragrance oil. Again, I'm using the lavender fragrance oil that I bought from Indigo Fragrance, and rosemary essential oil. I'm then going to put it in my mold, and we'll let it set up for a couple hours just to cool down, and then we can cut it before the night's out. So I'm going to go ahead and with the process, and I'll show you as we go. All right, here's my soap batter mixed with the 2 colors. I'm going to be adding the lavender full ounce fragrance oil to the purple and a couple of drops of rosemary essential oil to the green. I saved a little bit of white batter just so I can make a nice hanger swirl in my mold. I have to work quickly now because, as you know, hot process soap can set up very fast, and I still want it to be kind of fluid so I can do my hanger swirl. So I'll bring you back once everything's in the mold. All right, here's everything in the mold. Now, hot process does look a little bit more rustic than cold process. Cold process you can keep smooth, but if you do it with the sugar water, the sodium lactate, and then the superfat at the end, it does stay very fluid. I was able to pour this into the mold. And then I did my hanger swirl, and I added some jojoba beads on the top. And we're just going to let this cool inside the mold, and I'll be able to unmold it and cut it. And it smells delicious. It smells really, really good. But everything from Indigo Fragrance I've never been disappointed with. Their oils always hold up, and it's holding up well in this hot process batch. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let this cool, and then I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Thanks for watching. This is what I love about hot process. I can wash my own stuff with the soap I just made. This is the bubbles out of the batch that I just made. I'm going to turn it on and let you see. So I really, really, really love to see that immediately. I love cold process too because you do get to be a little more creative and not have to work so fast. But with hot process, you get to enjoy the product almost immediately. I let it cure for about a week to 2 weeks just to let the extra water be absorbed in the curing process, and it makes for a nice harder bar. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my mess, and then I'll show you what the loaf looks like when it's cooled down. Again, thanks for watching. Here's the best part about hot process soap. I started making this batch at 12:15. It's exactly 1:59, as you can see. So in a little less than 2 hours, I have usable soap. Though it's molding and cooling off, it is finished, and all my equipment is cleaned up and put away. Got a clean kitchen. Now with cold process, sorry for my finger there, I tend to wait 24 hours to clean up my equipment, just so I know that the soap has saponified and I'm not putting active lye down my drain. But with hot process, once it's cooked, I get to wash it right away. So here's another reason for loving hot process. Here is my batch and we're just waiting for it to cool down. All right, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to just post them at the bottom of this video. And if you could subscribe and like my channel, that would be great. Thanks. All right, here's my loaf out of the mold. It is 5:40. Again, I started this soap at 12:15 this afternoon. I was done before 2 o'clock, and it is completely ready to cut at 5:40. So not bad for, what, almost 6 hours of soap making, and I got soap that's ready to use. Anyways, it smells really, really good. The color's held up well, as you can tell. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some pieces and let you guys see what it looks like on the inside.